G'day guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing a review on the wrist with the Rolex Submariner 41mm Bluesy. So I've got here the 2022 model, and as you guys can see, this is a beautiful, substantial piece. Now, I got this watch not too long ago, and how I acquired it was trading in some pieces over to Watch Connect. I actually forget now what I traded in. I think it was a Santos Mist Flake. I think it was the Santos and Mist Flake that I traded in for this piece because I am in the process of acquiring some grails. But not only that, on top of acquiring grails, I wanted to start actually marking off pieces with different materials. So we're talking steel, yellow gold, red gold, white gold, titanium, and platinum. Basically the infinity stones is what I'm trying to get, but in watch form. So currently I've got the white gold in the Datejust 36 with the white gold bezel. I've got this as a yellow gold piece. My Speedy and my GMT Master 2 is the steel. And I'm also planning to get a platinum piece and a titanium piece soon. And I've also recently gotten a rose gold piece as well, which I'll make a video on that later. But the Submariner, I've worn this quite often actually. So I've worn this during a Bucks night, a very special Bucks night with my brother. So wore this during that event. I also wore this during my work Christmas party, as well as different other events. And every single time, this watch has been supremely substantial when it comes down to its wrist presence, but as well as even wearing it to the office, it's very substantial, and it is a conversation starter as well. I remember multiple times being in an elevator where someone would be wearing like a normal steel sub. We'll open a conversation and all of a sudden I've got a new network connection, right? I've got a new connection that we can potentially do business with. But aside from that, the experience so far with this watch has really surprised me, and it has taught me something, that although a watch's dimensions might seem like it's out of the list for many people depending on your wrist size, the important lesson I learned is trying on the watch with a perfect fit for your wrist before passing judgment. So initially I thought to myself, the Submariner is too big. It's not gonna fit my 6.5-inch wrist. Now, for context, I'm about 6 feet tall. I'm 70 odd kilos or so. I do go to the gym, so my proportions are very, it's kind of like a Dorito. I'm wide on the top, slim to my waist and my legs. Because I focus a lot on squats and deadlifts, my legs are quite proportionate, right? But then my wrist size is quite small. So when I had the opportunity to try my brother's Submariner on, because he also has a two-tone Submariner with the black dial, I was able to actually wear it fitted, and it made me realize, oh, this watch actually does fit me, and it does look proportionate with my dimensions, my height, and my build. So I added it to the list of potential watches I wanted. I previously had the Explorer 36 in two-tone. It was a good watch, but I wanted to let it go because it wasn't really doing it for me, being time only, and I already had a lot of time only watches. And before that, I had the Tudor Steel and Gold Root Beer. It was cool, but I outgrew that watch here. Now we're trying to hit some grails, and this has always been a grail of mine. So I initially wanted to get the 40mm. However, I got this watch from Watch Connect, which Nick is the man. I've bought a few watches off him. I'm planning to buy more off him. And he hooked me up with a solid, and can't be happier. So wearing this piece has been great for many reasons. Number one, it has a beautiful dial. It has a beautiful blue bezel. Typically, I stick with neutral colors when it comes down to my watches, but this is the exception. The blue looks fantastic. It complements the watch really well. And in dark lighting conditions, it doesn't detract away from the details on the dial. We're talking the white text, we're talking the yellow gold markers and the white indices here. Since it's not the same color, it does allow the other features of the watch to pop out at you even more. The bezel is fantastic, it looks regal, it looks royal. The yellow gold on the bracelet is a great complementary to the overall piece and the overall design. And the glide lock, look, I've handled Submariners before. Submariners aren't that rare. However, I've never owned a Submariner wearing it day to day, and the glide lock is fantastic. I'm loving the piece, I'm loving the way it feels and wears. It is substantial, and that adds to the manliness of the watch, the robustness, if that makes sense. I've actually had 4 comments already from colleagues saying that that's a man's watch, that's a gentleman's watch, it suits you very, very well, and I get it, I absolutely get it. So look, I really like this piece, I really adore this piece, and in all honesty, I can actually wear this daily, funnily enough. I've been wearing it casually, but as well as in more formal occasions. And in both instances, it just feels great. It just feels substantial, and it does feel as if that I got my money's worth, essentially. Now, in terms of pricing, I paid about 20-ish K for it, right? But since I traded in watches, it was basically straight swap. That's basically how I ended up acquiring this, a straight swap. I got good prices on my trade-ins as well, which was nice. So, final thoughts on this watch. Definitely do give it a try, even if you have smaller wrists. So 6.5 inches is where I'm at. Try and get it fitted to your wrist. If you have a friend that has a Submariner that has a similar wrist size to you, I highly recommend giving it a go, just because when it's worn loose, if you go to an 80 and you wear it, it doesn't sit on your wrist properly. So when you actually do get it fitted, as you can see here, it doesn't go past the width of my wrist, right? Like the lugs don't overhang. It looks modern and it looks proportionate, especially if you're a bit taller and you're a bit bigger built like I am. It's gonna look good on you. And I guess that's the lesson that I've learned from this watch, is just wearing it properly before passing judgment on to others. So I do apologize, in my previous videos, some of the collection showcases, I did say to a few people with smaller wrists, the Submariner's not going to fit. I would say just give it a try. So moving on from here, I do want to start collecting the infinity stones of watches in terms of case materials or bracelet materials. So the next on the list is a titanium and a platinum. I don't know which direction I'll go into. It looks as if that I've been sticking to Rolex a lot with my most recent purchases. Funnily enough, it's not a conscious decision of mine. I've just been getting into more Rolexes recently, because when looking into like a yellow gold piece or a rose gold piece, I just can't seem to find anything else out there in the market for the price points, for the value, so to speak. And look, in terms of yellow gold pieces, there's a lot of yellow gold pieces out there, but for around that 20K mark Australian, I couldn't find one as elegant as this. And in the next video, I'm gonna do the Yachtmaster 40 in rose gold and steel. That's another thing that I had to think about, like, oh, I want a rose gold watch for about 20K. What can I get out there? And the Yachtmaster just ended up winning out of what, the Chronomaster Sport two-tone and Cartier Tank solid gold, rose gold, and yeah, the Yachtmaster won. But anywho, closing thoughts. Definitely love this watch. I've had a great experience so far. I've actually dinged it a few times. I can't even notice where the dings are. Yeah, I've hit this a few times as well on the wall. I can't notice the dings. Fantastic watch, and let's listen to the bezel. I'll close it there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.